Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a deeper look at two Legend League bases. One of them is completely new, and the other one is, well, one of my older bases, but with a little new touch, I would say. So let's take a look at those two bases and let's see how they will work for you. In the background I'm showing all of the tag log pretty much. I will show them a little bit later as well. But one big disclaimer at this point: the first base is built by Slayer, so shout out to him. And once again, all those bases that I'm showing, there is no base right now which isn't like, you can pretty much triple any base right now, which means as soon as the base is getting more and more popular on YouTube, for example, it's getting a little bit worse in that sense. So if you want to try it on your own, try it in the beginning. And once again as well, there's no base right now which can't be tripled. That's how simple it is. You always try to build bases where the attacker has to or it's struggling and has a couple of more mistakes error, I would call them. So that's pretty much the main purpose of building a good base. Like I said, there's always a strategy out there right now which can triple the base. At Town 12, when you can't choose an attack, it's always your mistake if you're tripling. That's how the meta is right now. And this means pretty much any base can be tripled. So if you think, okay, I will just copy this base and I'm fine, that's sadly not how it works. So let's get into the first base. I will try to explain to you why this base is a bit more tricky than others. So this base is set up with two single inferno towers, which means if you're getting attacked by witches or by bats, this base will obviously struggle. If you're getting attacked a lot by air, that's what I got attacked a lot with, for example, with E-Drags or normal drags, then you should choose your air skeletons. If you're getting attacked a lot by P.E.K.K.A. Smash, for example, then you should switch them to ground because, well, a ground skeleton next to the Townhall means the P.E.K.K.A. will never ever touch that, so that's important as well. And if you're getting attacked a lot by like Lalu, for example, then you can switch those single inferno towers to multi-inferno towers obviously as well. The setup of this base is with two sweepers pointing downwards, which means it's super hard to actually get into the eagle first. Otherwise you have to go into the heroes first, which isn't a nice thing either. So that's basically the idea behind this base. It's a ring base, obviously. Ring bases right now are super they're creating a lot of errors for the attacker. Like if the attack isn't perfect or a little bit lucky, then it's really easily only a 1-star. Obviously those ring bases are kind of weak if you know how to attack them, if you know how to proper funnel, but at the same time there is no base right now out there which can't be tripled. For example, those anti-3-star bases, but at the same time on the anti-3-star bases you never ever get a 1-star, because on those anti-3-star bases it's pretty easy to get the 2nd star, obviously. So those ring bases right now are, at least for pushing, a really good choice, because if an attacker is somehow screwing up like the funnel or doing only one small misstep, then it's pretty easy a 1-star. Obviously if he's not doing any mistakes, it's going to be kind of likely at least a 2-star, if not a triple. But we will take a couple of looks at replays for this base, and then we will take a look at my attack log with this base, and I hope you can like decide whether you want to use it or not. Let's get into the first defense and see how the attacker does. This attacker actually brought witches, so we will see whether this works or not. He's something like a P.E.K.K.A. Smash with, instead of P.E.K.K.A. he's using witches. He has a queen on the right side. With this setup, it's pretty likely that his queen will eventually end up in the single inferno tower. So that's one of the reasons why you have the single inferno tower over there. So let's see how the queen goes. Apparently, I feel like the queen will walk. Yep, the queen is going to walk, which means she's going to get into the range of the ground expo, which means a lot of damage on her. We would get started with the bowlers, a couple of witches over there as well. And now it's all about how and if he can get the 2nd star, because once again, this is a ring base. All of his troops will try to circle around the base. His queen started, his bowlers are doing the same, and all of the bowlers in the core are doing the same as well. They're always splitting away from the town hall, and as soon as a couple of troops are actually gotten to the town hall, you will have the huge issue of the town hall itself shooting at them, and yeah, the bowlers won't be able to make it. The queen will walk around as well. He has quite some witches alive, but there's the multi-inferno tower, which is, yeah, which should be able to defend the town hall and the town hall itself, obviously. And this is going to be a 1-star for the first defense. And once again, a really popular attack as well, even though most of the time you're using P.E.K.K.A. And I think even the P.E.K.K.A. should have been better for us because we have the single Inferno Towers. So let's see how the next attacker does and what he's going to use. Okay, this one is going to be a classic Electro Dragon attack. He's coming in from the bottom, and we will see one big issue already. Take a look at those air defenses. You can't bounce them with those E-Drags. It's super simple, and that's a way on how to defend against E-Drags if you make the most important defenses not bounceable. That's as easy as it could be, kinda. At the same time, he has to go into both sweepers because he wants to get the eagle out first. I feel like he forgot the one, but I don't think that it would matter too much because the sweepers, like, there's not too much damage on the Electro Dragons right now. It's all about the pathing because now they're splitting away. It's not about like the Electro Dragons are taking too much damage or anything. Even if he blocked all of the black mites, etc., those air skeletons would have been like super annoying for him. And yeah, even with the warden pretty much swagged, like forgotten, whatever. I don't think that he would have gotten the 2-star with the warden ability, but still, if he would have gotten the town hall, it would have been really low percentage 2-star. So either way, it would have been a nice defense, and that's one of the things that a lot of attackers are going for the eagle first, and that's why both of the sweepers pointing over there. So that's a nice thing as well, and this is going to be the finish for this base. We will take a look at the attack log, pretty much, of this base, or like the defense log. So let's take a look. I just got attacked a couple of minutes ago with witches, and like I said, once again, this base is kind of weak against those witches, even though another attacker did not do too well. But those are pretty much the replays, and you see, normally I got a 3-star once, and this is with witches and bats. That's like the not too good. And we got quite some 0-stars as well, once again a triple. And it's not like I said, it's not impossible to get not tripled. It's all about like how many 1-stars you can get. And yeah, that's how the base does. And I would say I would show you the next attack as well, or like the next base as well, and you can decide if you want to use one of those two bases. This is going to be the second base, which is pretty much like a new version of one of the bases which I posted already on YouTube, and it's based right now on the decorations, which means certain decorations block defenses, which right now is possible. Superstar already announced in the forums that they will patch this, and this won't be available in the future. So if you want to use it right now, because that's the best way on how to do so. What did I change? I changed the sweepers and the positioning of them, because the sweepers in the beginning were located around over here, which means most of the troops were like getting soaked into the town hall because of the sweepers. But with removing the sweepers, most of the troops can't really get into the core because there's always this gap in between of the town hall and the outside buildings. So this is pretty much how this base works. It's once again kind of like a ring base, and once again, it's not designed to never get tripled or whatever. It's all about getting the attacker to make mistakes. That's the big point right now in base building, and this base is doing that pretty well. I will show you my defense log in a second and a couple of attacks on that as well. If you think, oh my god, this base is on YouTube already and you get tripled pretty much every time. We will see. We will see. This is going to be the first attack I want to show you guys. He's using ice golems, witches, and bowlers, which is pretty much kind of like a frozen witch attack, but with a lot of ice golems. He's using bats as well, but this base has 3 multi-inferno towers, which means it's, in my opinion, like more balanced, because the single front tower is a little bit of a gamble. Like if the attacker has the wrong troops, it's pretty good. Otherwise, it's super bad. Multi-front towers are more balanced. Like they're pretty much well-rounded, like good against any base. Like dragons, they're attacking all of the dragons at the same time, etc. And this base is not about like getting a 1-star based on the town hall, like the last base, where the town hall was super hard to get. This base, the Townhall, is not too easy to get as well, but it's all about the percentage most of the time, which means you can easily push into the base like this attacker has shown and get the Townhall, but you will struggle on the percentage because all of the percentage are on the other side and you won't be able to make it from this angle too easily into the Townhall because then once again you have this ring base set up. So it's kind of tricky to actually get into the Townhall and at the same time get the percentage. But this attacker, right, went into the trap pretty much. And even if he would have went for a couple of more percentage over here, for example, he would have got maybe the second star, but at the same time, he was not even close to a triple, and that's one of the main goals as well of those bases. So let's take a look at the next attack, because this attack won't get the second star. This witch will die pretty quickly, and let's see how the next attacker does. Let's see how the next attacker does indeed, and this is going to be an Electromagnet Attack, which is... There's a reason why that many people are using Electromagnets right now, and that's just because this troop is powerful, obviously, but at the same time it's not too easy to use. If you just spam them in, like this attacker does, it's normally not working out too well. Meanwhile, well, this attacker is not creating a fun or anything, and this is once again a thing which this base is good for. Overall ring bases pretty much, not only this one. And the idea behind that is that you make it hard for the attacker to reach the Townhall if he's not attacking properly with those spam troops. And this attacker is like running into the ring like nothing, and you can notice this gap over here. Normally there would have been the sweeper over here, which means he would have had a path into the Townhall, but with my last couple of tweaks, the attacker won't make it to the Townhall because the sweepers are way more on the outside, which means there's no pathing for the troops into the Townhall. He will get a couple more percentage, he will get the 1 star at least, but that's basically it. He won't get too much either, and that's it for the attacker. And yeah, that was basically it for this next attack. It was kind of quick, and we will take a look at the defense log. And I got attacked like from 5.2k up to around 5k trophy attacks, and you will see in the log I did not get tripled once in the entire time I used this base. I never really switched the base because I'm not pushing right now, so I don't really care about my trophies, and after I posted this base on YouTube, I didn't really mind or whatever, so I just kept using this base, and you see even like a couple of 4.3k players attack this base. They had 60% 2-star, so even those low percentage 2-star attacks are a huge thing. So yeah, this base works really, really well still for me, with a couple of tweaks, and as long as the decoration bug, glitch, whatever is still working, I will keep using it. It's doing pretty well for me. And now it's your turn. If you want to copy one of those bases, and if you do so, let me know how it works for you. I hope it works really well for you. Like I said, for this base, I think I had really mixed results. I had one guy on my Discord telling me that he got attacked 14 times. 12 attacks out of those times were 1-stars, and he was around 5.4k trophies. A couple of other guys said that they will get tripled immediately. So it's up to you. This base is once again not untrippable or anything. It's only attack, or it's based on making the attacker make mistakes. So up to you. I hope you guys like those two bases. I will see you guys in the next video.